Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on in. We're going to take a look at a today's topic video. This is going to be for the 13th of November. Now, these are the stories where I do leave the comments on, and if you guys want to type the word compassion in the comments section, that gets you entered to win for next Monday. Each Monday, I do randomly select a winner and do a storytelling for them. And you know what I think I'm going to start doing is posting the winner each Monday in a post, just so it's a little bit easier for everybody to know who the winner is. I think that might be kind of nice because oftentimes I put these videos out in advance of the day that it's for, and so I think that might be nice, especially when my lungs are bad for a bit. So normally I like these to come out in advance and they come out at midnight, but things get thrown off if I'm under the weather with my asthma. So, or other things in life just happen. So I think that way it might help everybody to know, what video to find the winner in and who the winner is weekly. So we start this one out with a Knight of Cups. And I always look at this as somebody who's like getting ready for a party. They're making special little ice cubes with like fruit in it. So it's pretty, like, I don't know if it's like holiday ice cubes or, putting like cranberries and stuff and freezing it so you can make, festive, holiday beverages or something. But hi guys, so nice to see you all. Becky O, Miss Erica, Brele, Christopher, Annie S, Emelisa. Hi everybody. This looks really nice. This looks like we have somebody moving forward with their emotions, but I keep thinking somebody's got like an idea of something that they want to do. Maybe again, it's to, prep for a holiday. Okay, so this deck has obviously these are not the same size, but we have a little outlier that hopped in. So we need to keep it. We have an Ace of Wands, or excuse me, Ace of Swords. My apologies. I can't read today. Oh, Ace of Swords, Ace of Swords. Wow. Okay, so there's a double dose of some truth coming in. What is this about? We could have a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, feminine specifically. We do see her turning her back on this. And of course, the Ace of Swords can be a moment of truth where we speak a truth. It can be the sword that cuts things, severs things. It can be the sword that we, walk away from something altogether, or we're done. But with that Knight of Cups, somebody wanting to emotionally like follow their feels. I almost feel like this is more somebody who's come to this conclusion. I want this. Five of Cups sideways. I want this after plenty of losses, plenty of sorrow. Somebody could have gone through a really tough time, a lot of losses. Sometimes we get very real with ourselves when we endure any kind of loss in life. I mean, here we literally have like a funeral. And so, even though these are fictional stories about fictional characters, they live in the same parameters that we do for the purpose of my storytelling. So if someone has gone through, a loss of someone, if they've just simply missed an ancestor who's, already on the other side of a rainbow bridge, all of that sometimes serves to not only make us, work through a grieving process, but also sometimes it makes us embrace more life, because it's like, that reminds me, like, carpe diem, let's seize the day. Let's do the things that we really want to. So am I living my truest life? Are there things that I'm fretting over that I should just let go of? Am I making my current life miserable in any way by not pursuing the things that I want, speaking from the heart? Let me be more authentic. Let me go after the things that I want. That's more the way I would read this, is we have a character who really is feeling like more empowered. Like, here's what I want to do. We have a King of Wands upright. That King of Wands is, I gotta say, I believe it's more like a feminine's is our lead character for the 13th. And it appears she might be feeling the feels for some King of Wands. She may not know much about him. You notice we can't see his entire face or head here, but she's like aware that his heart feels warm. This could be somebody that she's attracted to, and it's like, I'm hearing that song, "Oh Yes, I'd Like to Get to Know You. If I Could, oh yes, I'd like to get to know you." Is that like a 1960s track? I have to be honest, I never enjoyed the song myself. Doesn't mean it's not a great track, but once it's in your head, like it goes on and on and on. I think that's why that song is not one of my most favorites. This particular person, they could have like Brazilian or South American heritage. This definitely has like a South American vibe, is what I was, maybe African cultural background as well. Um, just as some side notes here, but she seems to be aware that if she has emotions, and maybe her emotions are thawing out, maybe she's like denied herself the way she felt for a period of time. And after going through some things that she was grieving, some experiences that, certainly tugged at her heartstrings, she's come to this conclusion. Maybe it's time to not live in any past and instead lean into my future. If there's someone warm, I want to gravitate toward warmth. I even think because we have like this Medusa head here and it's severed, um, Medusa had the power to, turn people into stone before Perseus, slayed her. And from her Medusa head sprung forth the Pegasus, which is, the winged horses that represent victory in Greek mythology. So I'm just mentioning that because it's like she might have like turned everybody to stone. She might not have been very warm and fuzzy and friendly. She might have been grieving because she was hurting because she'd been wounded in love. She'd experienced losses. She might have been a bit of a Medusa. Don't come near me. With one icy glare, she could, chase people off. And instead, it's like, I don't want to be that person anymore. I actually I want to live again. Uh, and now I'm here in Al Green. I love the Reverend. How can you mend a broken heart? And mine is, how can a loser ever win? Oh gosh, it's the very end of that song that it's like an 8 or 9 minute song, the version that I'm singing in my head right now. And I can't sing it out loud, let me tell you, because I go all in, and I am not the Reverend. I am not blessed with his voice, but great song. I feel like, if anything, that moment of, the Pegasus emerging from Medusa's head, that sudden victory, that you know what, I am going to live again, and I am going to love again, and I am going to let myself go towards something good. That seems to be what the energy is of the 13th. So we could have a feminine, we're having a lot of epiphany stories and a lot of sudden change type stories. Maybe it's because we just came through that 1111 portal. Maybe it's just because sometimes you can only get fed up to here for so long before you go, screw it. I'm going to go after something better. We can be miserable and we can be, scraping by and we can be feeling the feels. And then one day we go, I don't want to act like this. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I really want to live my best life. I think it's the best kind of fed up to get, fed up with the cold, fed up with hurting, fed up with being sad, fed up with being lonely, and then gravitating toward warmth. That's the best decision we could make. If I don't like what I've been doing, let me go toward warmth. Let me go toward better. So really nice energy on this. I actually really love this one. We have the Hierophant. Yeah, definitely a crown chakra opening for her. Again, could just reference, Mayan or Aztec cultural background. Amazonian energy here as well. I'm just looking at those macaws or parrots. But we have strong Taurus energy coming in. I feel like she is ready to just leap in with both feet. There is something about this is the time of her life. Maybe this is that, like a Mayan calendar, or an epoch or an era shift for her. But it's time that she just kind of surrenders to what she knows to be true, which is, I'm supposed to be doing something other than hurting right now. I know that. I know I'm not supposed to just walk like, a pain zombie through this world. I'm supposed to gravitate toward heat and light and warmth. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm just going to, this almost feels like radical trust in the universe. All right, universe, I've made my decisions. Sometimes they didn't yield the best results, but this time I'm going to just trust the universe, and I'm going to kind of lean into people, places, and things that cross my path that seem appealing and warm. Let me figure out what that's all about. I almost think that's why we can't see his face entirely, because she doesn't really know enough about him to say, oh, he's great, but she's willing to go find out. I almost feel like this is this is new energy for her. She may not have been open to connecting to anybody. Like I said, if she was a Medusa for a while, if she was, freezing people just with one glance, one stare, I could totally see how she would not have been, oh so warm and fuzzy before. And I would say she is realizing, I think she was, maybe there's going to be another huge epiphany for her with that Hierophant that preceded this, but I think she's realizing I was drawn to other people that were stuck in freezing cold ruts. Maybe that's why I kept feeling disappointed. This is starting to feel a bit like, someone who's very cerebral, but also very empathic, whether or not she knew it. She may have been drawn to a King of Swords at one point in time, and he himself had like some legacy of, ice cold energy. She might have been looking for warmth, basically from the wrong person. There's a great song by Emmylou Harris, the coldest shoulder. No, sorry. The shoulder I've been leaning on is the coldest place I've ever known. And it's a shame and it's a sin. Everything I could have been to you. Your last chance, Texaco, sweetheart of the rodeo, the border you crossed into Mexico. That's where I'm going to go. God, I think it's off of Red Dirt Girl. Anyway, great lyrics. She's such an awesome songwriter. But I just can't help but think our character, our feminine, kept leaning toward people that couldn't be warm. And she's realizing that. No wonder I kept encountering grief. No wonder I kept getting disappointed, disillusioned in love, because I kept gravitating toward people that they themselves were carrying on like a legacy of ice cold. I don't like this King of Swords card because it looks like somebody who like dogmatically follows the family legacy, and it's this dark castle and snowy, and it just looks oppressive to me. And I'm wondering if she kept falling for, and maybe it was like without realizing it, she kept going toward emotionally unavailable people. Maybe she had 4 significant relationships, and in truth, they were like almost carbon copies of each other. She never went for the warm, the cuddly, the fuzzy, the one that I wonder if she was always attracted to a type, and she's just now realizing that. Like, oh, I have been drawn to the emotionally unavailable. So of course I kept getting disappointed. Well, let me change what I lean toward now. If this is a thing that's being illuminated to her, like maybe she wanted to fix people. Maybe she wanted to bring warmth into aloof energy, or maybe she thought, that there was something sexy about, the silent type, the strong silent type. I think she's realizing, yeah, no, I'd rather have the warm, communicative type. That's a big change. That's 2 vastly different kinds of kings to consider. And if that's her big epiphany, is like, maybe I need warmth around me, especially right now in my life. She's had enough disappointments, right? She's had enough grief. She's had enough loss. She wants more, but she's the one who gets to choose it. And I think that's really nice. Really nice for her to recognize that. Universe, you want to weigh in on this? 5 of Swords, 8 of Cups. She's finally letting go of somebody that she had great conflict with. This could be that King of Swords that she had, a lot of conflict with. By the way, please do remember, I don't read for genders. So this could be a masculine, feminine, same-sex couple, doesn't matter. But what she's walking away from is the tendency to have clash, the tendency to have, upheaval, the tendency to gravitate toward people where, of course, we're going to have conflict because I'm trying to offer something emotional and they're not wanting to open up. She's done fighting to get other people to pry them open like oysters. She's not going to do that anymore. I like this moment of self-awareness for her. This is really awesome. It honestly looks like she's more in control of her own future and more like aware of what she really wants than ever, which is so great to see. Thank you guys so much for giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for subscribing. I forget to thank you guys enough for that. It means the world to me and to my channel's growth. So thank you guys if you enjoy the free content here. I should also mention, don't forget, we will be going live every week for about 30 minutes on each channel. This one and Tarot Dog, my other channel, every week all the way up until January. It's just kind of the way I get to say thank you to you guys for being subscribers, members, all of it, for visiting my channel. So I do some storytellings for you guys. But I thought we'd do it every week on both channels all the way up to January. So hopefully I get a chance to hang out with a lot of you. So, all right, we have a 10 of Cups. We have the 3 of Wands, and we have the 7 of Wands. Universe's perspective is, yes, there's your breakthrough, babe. I've been watching you. I've been there supporting you. I've been cheering for you. Yes, you can have that 10 of Cups. Yes, your future is bright. Yes, you got over the hurdle. You kept looking for people who would turn their back on you. You're not looking for that anymore. You are now looking toward people who turn and face you. You're now gravitating toward a lover. That's what you're seeking, is somebody to adventure with, somebody to like build with. I think her big hurdle was she kept trying to connect to people that were resistant to it, resistant to like opening up. You know, here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and call out some of the Hollywood movies and stuff for that, because I always think that, you know, there's so many films where it's like the brooding, silent, you know, femme fatale or James Bond character is always the one that's like, oh, they're so unattainable. But then, of course, they do fall in love. And I think that that's a really common, like, you know, character to see. And really, that's not a whole lot of fun to have to like chip away at somebody who's like aloof and, you know, they're so desirable. Everybody wants them, but they don't want anybody. But then someday they want us, you know, like that character, that creating scarcity. And I'm not saying she bought into that necessarily, but sometimes we can't help but, you know, like especially if she's an empath, she may say, you know, some of the people that are the most aloof are the ones who most need that warmth. Yes. But they also have to do some work on themselves, maybe to let down their guards a bit. And I'm just thinking that this is the big breakthrough for her. This is where she's saying, yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore. I actually want somebody who already decided to bring down their guard, just like she has, right? She's not the Medusa. She's not pissed off anymore and saying, why does it never work? Why am I always ending up with the same carbon copy relationship again and again where, oh, they're never available. Nope, they're not ready to be in a relationship. Then why the hell are they messing with me? You know, but instead of her getting pissy about it, she's like, no, this is the day it changes. This is the day I say, I don't have to look for the aloof, broody person that I can melt down their walls. First, though, I melted down my own, didn't I? Maybe that's why we had that ice cube at the beginning. I don't have to melt it down. After all, I can just gravitate toward what I would rather have, which is actually a whole different kind of person. I'd rather be with a King of Wands. I'd rather be with somebody who's warm and cuddly and snuggly. I'd rather go on nice, warm, tropical or Mediterranean vacations instead of spend my time trying to fight for someone's attention or fight for them to like bring down their walls. So she is definitely changed in this. She is very, very different at this point. Syed Hamza Ali, thank you so much for being here, babe. Welcome, honey. Welcome. Don't forget, if you guys are members, every Monday I do add another video into the members playlist. Also, members know that once a month I go live for 2 hours, and it's a private members only session where we do a card pull, so you get a greater chance of getting a storytelling, and we'll be doing that on Monday, members in the members corner. Okay, so that's a separate thing from the weekly half-hour deal that I'm doing. That's for everybody, but the members corner is a little separate thing that I do every month. So anyway, but welcome. With that Knight of Cups in the reverse, guess what? The days of chasing are over also. The days of adventuring are here. The days of chasing are over. That's two different ways to look at the same thing. Can we see anything else about this King of Wands? Is this really just more about her changing her perception, or do we really have somebody? We got the Chariot, we got the Queen of Cups. Mostly this is her story and her perception shift. She's done being on that emotional chessboard of, you know, like I said, dating maybe the same aloof characters and trying to get them to open up and then having it not work out and then trying again. She's done with that. She's really in a place where she's just like, oh, full steam ahead. I'm so ready to love and be loved. No games, no difficulties, no walls, no ice castles to melt, just pure good vibrations. And she's really, I love the fact that she's first just sitting and like starting to feel relaxation and loving herself on the 13th. The whole concept of like gravitating toward a king of wands, she may have met somebody that's a king of wands and he might just represent like, I want somebody like that or better. He just set the bar for, I like that instead. I think I would rather have a partner who's warm. He may not be somebody, it's like, oh, I've got him pegged, that's the one I want. It may be that he represents the mindset shift, but she's not instantly like, must go find a relationship. That's going to come naturally. The big thing for her is that she's no longer looking for the broody, aloof, I'm going to have to be patient with them, wait for an eternity for them to ever decide to give me crumbs of attention. She's like, oh, no, no, no. I love me way too much to do that. And I'm not going to be pissed that I've been shortchanged, and I'm not going to be lamenting any lost time. I'm simply changing gears today. I love this for her. I love that it's immediate results, that her life gets lighter and brighter. She may find herself wearing brighter colors. Maybe, violet or purple is a really spiritual color. She may be wanting to gravitate toward amethyst. I'm picturing somebody who's, I don't know if you guys have yet worked with ube. I made ube cookies. It's like a purple Japanese yam. It's really yummy, actually. But there's all kinds of, it's a very vibrant purple, I will say. But there's like so many recipes out there. But I'm picturing somebody is like eating something that is ube flavored, whatever. I don't know if it's a beverage. I don't know if it's a pastry. I don't know if they're cooking with it, baking with it, whatever it may be. But it could be something like that. It's not even just she's wearing amethyst or wants to wear the color. She might be literally ingesting ube or something in that purple color tone. And it could just represent that she's bringing in that sense of like high vibrational, spiritual alignment. I'm not saying ube does that, and we're suggesting everybody should go out and eat it. I'm just as an interesting little specific side note on this, our character in this fictional story may be really gravitating toward white and purple specifically. Very nice. I love seeing a character that changes gears a bit, changes, and sees their life a little differently, and it's so much lighter and brighter. Okay, I need to go ahead and get to a quick little message here for a birthday that is for the 13th as well. 13th of November. Here we go. We've got the Justice card. We've got the Page of Wands sideways, and we have the Moon upright. That Justice card is Libra energy, and then we also have Pisces. It's pretty awesome to see 2 out of 3 cards is a major arcana. So it could be a really big year for a character, a year where sometimes the things that we either think we're being prohibited from having, our desire for them fades. And although our character wouldn't believe it right now, I kind of think somebody is going to discover that they lose their taste for something, and maybe it's going to be all for their best. Once in a while, like let's use an object instead of like the concept of relationship. Let's say I really want to buy this whatever expensive couch, expensive TV, whatever it may be, and then I can't do it yet. But as some months pass, I realize, I just read that it didn't really have great reviews. Now that it's been out on the market for a while, it turns out there's a lot of people that did spend their money on that object, that item, and it like broke down. It really wasn't a good use of anybody's funds to buy those things. And you know what? I'm actually losing my taste for it. And I couldn't have known this had time not played out for me. But it does talk about a character who I think they feel cheated because they can't have something right now, but it's going to turn out to work in their favor. And it's like, I never would have dreamt that. There's a lot of nice surprises that show up in our life if we can let things unfurl instead of like try to leap ahead and get to the answers. Sometimes we just have to let stuff play out. So actually really nice message on that, that there could be some surprises in store for somebody, that things they thought were unfair, that they wanted, they're going to discover that they were either protected from or that their desire passes for it. And then it's like, maybe I want something else altogether. let me consider how this has changed me. Let me consider, why did I even ever want that? Maybe that wasn't in my greatest and highest good. So why was I going after things that maybe weren't good enough for me in the first place? So kind of a nice energy on that one. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. You're so sweet, Nellie, you angel. Nellie is so cute. I always just hate when I have a bad asthma run. I know it's awful to hear me coughing right into a microphone. That's the part that I'm sorry about anybody who's like got headphones in. But my option is, do I not do any? Some days I can't or don't because the coughing's too interruptive. And then other times I want to be here. It's tough because I really love it here and I love hanging out with you guys. And it's a real highlight for me. So it's always torn between, can I, should I? But thank you, Nellie. You're so sweet. You're a protector too. I know it. Sacred vibrations. Good to see you, Voyager 2. Awesome to catch you, love. Hi, Maria. Annie S. Oh, that's so awesome. You had a colorful dress on yesterday and requested to stand up and show your coworkers. I love that. I would have been one of those coworkers for sure. You know how much I love colors. I love patterns, and I love, especially like, that's why I do a lot of vintage, thrift store shopping and stuff that's, like mass produced at one point in time, maybe, but then I find it at thrift stores many years after it's out of date. And I just love it because I'm looking for the thing that, like, just a little bit, just a little bit funkier, a little bit different, or a little bit more pizzazz, I suppose. Love, light, laughter. So good to see you, babe. Earth Magic. Hi, honey. Hi, Hetty. Patricia De Silva. Besos to you, my dear. Shout out to you in Portugal. Hi, T. La Unique One. Tammy Secord. Brujita Beauty. Right back to you, Sacred Vibrations. Lots of love to you also, honey. Amelia Williams. How are you, hon? Hi, Suman. Nice to see you, babe. Miss Erica, right back at you. And again, welcome. Welcome, Syed Hamza Ali. So honored you're here. Hi, V. Lisa, Bobby Harris. How are you today, babe? Naomi Torres. Inner Knowing. Holly Light. Francisca. Greetings to you in Ireland. Thank you for being here, hon. Spiritually awakened. Pardon me. Shout out to you in the UK, babe. Have you been needing to heal? I'm sending you lots of good vibes. Tack Ellis. Spiritually awakened. Did you finish a big old road trip? Oh, that sounds wonderful. You were all over the place. How exciting. It's hard to readjust, though, after a trip, huh? Moon Pony. Esoteric M. Annalisa. Wonderful to catch you. Thank you for the rose, beauty. And Becky O, you were first in the house today. Miss Erica, thank you so much for popping in. And Brele, always a delight, honey. Love the butterfly. Christopher, thanks again for being here, hon. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get to a couple of we still have some zodiacs that we need to get to. I didn't get to Ophiuchus yet for retrograde messages. We have Ophiuchus, we have Libra, we have Leo, and I think Taurus and Capricorn also. So we have to get to those today. We're like chugging to get back on track a little bit. So, hi, Chrissy. All right, you guys. Yes, NES for sure. Yeah, Capricorn is among them. We did Gemini yesterday, love. We did Gemini, we did Scorpio, we did a Virgo. I feel like I did one other too before I kind of ran out of oxygen. But yeah, so Gemini got theirs yesterday. All right, you guys, take care, and I'll see you again shortly for those other zodiacs. Lots of love. Bye.